to Chief Ewens, who will provide you some additional details.
Good morning, everybody. So at about 12:21 a.m. last night, we had a homicide at 20th and Washington. The disturbance was called in by a 911 caller. Officers responded. There was a report of shots fired. They found a victim, a 38-year-old male with gunshot wounds. Lincoln Police, as well as fire, attempted to give life-saving efforts, but unfortunately the victim succumbed to his injuries. Throughout the night, the investigators processed the scene and canvassed the area, gathering additional evidence. We do not have any further information and would suggest there is an ongoing, let me back up. We do not have any information that would suggest there is any ongoing or targeted threat to the public safety. However, an arrest has not been made at this time. The name of the victim is being withheld pending notification to the family as well as further investigation. This investigation is in the early stages. The Lincoln Police Department is asking anyone with information or video involving the victim's vehicle, a white Jeep Patriot, to come forward by calling 402-441-6000. If you wish to remain anonymous, to call Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600. And as I said, this is ongoing investigation, and so there's very few details I will be able to provide, but let's open up for questions.
Was this outside or inside?
Outside,
Outside,
on the street, yes.
on the street? Was the victim in a car or walking or just?
In a car. The victim vehicle was a Jeep Patriot.
Okay.
It's white. So anyone that has any information, may have seen it prior, please call us. Let us know what you had seen.
And do you know, did you guys find him in the car, and do you know if he was shot while he was in the car, or how it kind of led up to that?
I don't have that information at this time. We are interviewing witnesses, and we're looking for video as well.
And did he live in the area of 20th and Washington, the victim?
We don't have that information at this time.
Do you know if he's from Lincoln?
I believe he is.
Was this a call, somebody heard shots and then called?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You know how many times he was shot?
Not this time.
Was there anything else going on in that neighborhood prior to the shooting taking place?
No, there wasn't. It was a very quiet night, and obviously gunshots woke some people up, and they called the police.
There was a robbery reported, I think, at 19th and Garfield, like 20 minutes afterwards. Do you know if that's at all related to this?
We don't believe it is. No. Any other questions?
Are you able to confirm if there was a crash involving another vehicle before, like in the seconds before the shooting took place?
It's still under investigation. We'll have more details next week when we do have further, after the witnesses and we find the video, because we are scouring the neighborhood and even outside the neighborhood to see if we can find any evidence of what occurred prior.
But no one reported, seeing anyone flee the scene or any vehicle description that may have left the area?
We do have information about someone fleeing the scene.
What, how many homicides have we had this year? And
11.
11? And any explanation of why we've had so many this year? Obviously none of them are tied in together. Are any of them tied together? I should ask that question.
Why, you want me to answer the question of why we have so many homicides?
No, why is, are any of them tied together, first of all? Are any of these incidents, any of the homicides tied together, I guess?
You know what, I'd have to go back and look at them. I would say, there are some that are gang related. But when we talk about something like last night, an argument or whatever happened prior that resulted in someone taking a gun out and shooting somebody is not something we can necessarily, stop. It's when people get angry and they use a gun to solve the argument, I don't even have words for that.
And the increase that we've seen, in Lincoln, explanation as to why we're seeing gun violence or violence and homicides?
Well, so when you look at the national landscape, this violence has occurred nationally, and I can give you more numbers next week. But, you know, these things do happen. The increases and decreases do happen. And, you know, a lot of it is great police work. A lot of it is what's happening in society today. The availability of guns is obviously, you know, a conversation that needs to be had. But, you know, overall, I would say that our officers, our investigators are doing a great job trying to stop any violence that occurs within Lincoln.
And does the shortage of police officers have anything to do with any of the increase in homicides that are going on at all?
I would say no.
Should Lincolnites still feel safe?
Absolutely, and I've said that over and over again. I do feel that, you know, both with, we talk about all organizations in law enforcement, LSO, LPD, NSP, we are out there, we're doing our job, we're getting people in custody, they're answering for the crimes that they have committed. And I think that, you know, moving forward into next year, obviously having increased law enforcement presence is always better because it deters crime, but I can't sit here and say that, you know, the increase is because of lack of police officers, because that's just not the case. When you look at each one of the cases, there is an interaction prior to the event occurring, and so that's usually what results in a death, and so we have to look at that as well.
And I guess just to clarify, is it clear whether the vehicle was crashed, but it's not clear whether that happened before or after the shooting?
Right, I don't have those details as of yet because we just finished processing the scene earlier this morning, and so I'll get more details next week and provide that to you. Any other questions? Okay, like I said, we'll bring you more information next week, beginning next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.